Hi, I'm Catherine Hester, and today I will be talking about the video game Duet. The game Duet was created by the company Kumobius and includes a soundtrack by Tim Scheel and voiceovers by Jojo Petrina. In the game, the player must make sure two dots do not hit white blocks. These dots are locked opposite each other on a circular path, and to avoid the blocks, the player must spin the circular path and the dots left or right. The game contains many levels of play where the blocks become more difficult to avoid. In the background, trance music plays, and at the beginning of every level, the narrator says something semi-motivational to the player. This game is simple, yet one can still obtain a symbolic meaning from it. What first caught my eye was that the sections in the game are named after the 7 stages of grief: ignorance, denial, anger, bargaining, guilt, depression, hope, and acceptance. There are 8 sections because the game maker split anger and bargaining into 2 sections, when in the stages of grief there are typically considered 1. Along with motivational phrases at the beginning of each section, this made me think about the symbolic nature of the game. In a way, the 2 dots avoiding the blocks can be symbolic for a person trying to avoid any struggle in life. As one moves forward in trying to overcome their grief or struggles, the stages get more difficult, as the sections do in the game. To beat the levels, one must accept that the obstacles are there and move around them, symbolically illustrating how problems do not simply go away, but one has to fight to overcome them. In the final acceptance level of the game, the blocks disappear as they move down the screen, again symbolically representing that in life, once the struggle or hardship is finally accepted, obstacles resulting from this grief will slowly disappear. The game also puts great emphasis on smoothness and flow. Many times a level cannot be beat unless the player smoothly avoids the blocks in a continuous flow of back and forth circular motion. This, along with the dots moving in circles while the blocks are rectangular shapes, can be seen as illustrating that in life, to avoid hardships and obstacles, one must not be so rigid, but rather go with the flow and free your mind to new possibilities, new circular paths around a square world. The moral taken from this game can be this: to avoid obstacles and overcome grief in life, you must go through every step of the grieving process. However, if you can relax and flow freely, freeing yourself and your mind from the rigidness of your grief, you will reach acceptance and the obstacles will eventually become non-existent.